There we go. Oh, all right. We're ready.
Are we? I mean, emotionally, are we ready for this?
As you possibly can be.
Normally I try and bring like a whole notepad full of notes, but for this week, fuck it. Just fuck it. I have suffered enough. I have suffered enough for this shit.
That would have been more than they wrote for this entire season.
Correct. This, I think, is going to be our most controversial episode because I looked up, like I said I was going to, I looked up a bunch of reviews as contemporaneous as I could find.
Yeah.
And they were all rave reviews.
Yeah, but not now. I mean, like, did you find anybody now who was
yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. There's a whole thing on Reddit. What do you call it? Not thread. The
subreddit.
Group. Subreddit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a subreddit called r/24, and it's one of the most recent posts from 6 months ago. There's a post that says 24 season 5. This is in all caps, which is important for you to know. 24 season 5 is one of the greatest TV seasons in TV history. That's
the most male thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I assume that the only vaginas in that subreddit are pocket
ones,
pocket ones.
Yeah. Yes, fleshlights on the
yeah,
shelves.
Ones you can take with
writing.
You.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
No woman watched the show and was like, that was so good. They were such realistic depictions of the way women work in the workplace.
I will tell you, and I got to find it again because I had all these open and then my computer decided to be a dick. But if you go to Rotten Tomatoes, you can look up critic reviews. What's frustrating is it'll have just one sentence from the review and it'll say like, this is from the New York Times from January 3rd, 2006. But if you try and click on it, a lot of times the reviews, because they're so old, they're not online anymore, or like the link is just outdated. Yeah. So I can't read the full reviews, but I can still look at all these snippets that were put on Rotten Tomatoes. And the critics' reviews are all like, this is certified fresh. This is the best thing I've ever watched. But one of them, okay, I got to find, okay, here, from a woman, from Dorothy Rabinowitz at the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette wrote,
come on,
how much easier to have conceived of steadfast, unfailingly respectful Jack Bauer, a magical character Kiefer Sutherland inhabits with improbable naturalness. And I would like to focus on the unfailingly respectful Jack Bauer. I tried to click on this link and like the Post-Gazette, I guess, repudiates this review because I cannot see it now. But unfailingly respectful? Are you fucking kidding me? Anyways, we have not done the introduction yet.
He's killing them. So, yeah, sure. I guess.
He chokes his fucking girlfriend. And he leaves Connie Britton. You don't leave Connie Britton. Connie Britton leaves you, motherfucker. Anyways, we haven't done the introduction yet.
Okay. I'm ready.
You start it.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
It's been a while. Guys, it's been a while.
You're back, though.
And I'm Meg, and this is Ger Can Get It. This week, I just want to say that in all the fan fiction that I ever read, I really thought that when Nick Knight met David from The Lost Boys, it would go a whole lot different than this, okay? This is not what I signed up for, and I'm a little bit bummed about it.
If they gave awards for makeouts on screen or stage, this guy would get a lifetime achievement. He'll find any excuse to get right to second face. You honestly wouldn't believe it. Dissecting each and every kiss with tongue. There's only one conclusion to come to. It's that Ger can get it.
It would be so much better if they were both actually vampires.
Right? If they were both vampires, this would have been a much more enjoyable 24 hours of content that I watched. 24 hours.
Fucking long. And it was so boring. I really want to watch this. I can't, obviously, because time travel doesn't exist. But if I could, I wish I could like re-inhabit myself from that time period and watch it, because I feel like all of these terrorist plot lines would have made so much more sense.
Would they? Because, like, this whole show just seems like candy-coated bullshit. Like, I just...
Well, it's like when we watch the ones where he's a Russian spy or he's working for the Russians. Or
I missed when he was a Russian ballet dancer. That was peak.
Ballet. We really need to have tallied the number of times this man has fought the Russians. Either fought the Russians or been Russian.
I mean, it was of the 80s and 90s, right? I mean, that's right. Those are the only people.
This is Airwolf. Like, I want him to be his character from Airwolf. How good would that have been? Oh my God, if they'd brought his character from Airwolf back and just not explained it, just given him the same name.
It's the same guy, yeah. And that would have been a pretty cool little Easter egg.
Wink, wink. Like, it's the same guy.
This definitely feels like people in the 90s were trying to do what people in the 80s did with Airwolf. Like, it feels like they were trying to make the exact same show, but like with a 90s sensibility, I guess an early 2000s sensibility instead of an 80s sensibility. But anyways, what we're describing, what we watched, for reasons that escape even me, what we watched was season 5 of the TV show 24. And if you like it, we're not going to make friends this episode, okay? Listen to some of our other podcast episodes. Maybe you're going to like us. If you really liked 24, just skip this week. This week is not for you.
Or if you want to hear a different opinion, because it's going to be a different opinion.
It's going to be a different opinion.
Have at it.
So like I said, normally what I try and do when we watch like a movie or we watch a series that Ger's been in is I try and take diligent notes. This broke me. This fucking broke me so hard.
We found it. We found the step too far.
Every week I think, oh, this is going to be the worst thing. And then Ger's like, hold my beer. And there's like a new worst thing.
Pornography in Romania did not break you, but but this did.
You know what? I could see the point behind War Dogs. Like, I could see what they were trying to do, even if it wasn't like for me. I picked up what you're putting down. This, no, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This thing won. Okay. Let me see if I can find, this thing won so many goddamn awards.
Well, it was a revolutionary concept. Like, you gotta give 24 that.
Yes.
Each episode is actually an hour in time, and so each season is one day. So that was cool. And when we were all about that, we were fighting them terrorists, and we was gonna go get them, and they was over there, and we would go, and they were gonna come over here, and they would go kill us all.
I think that accent is the only way to handle this show. That the person who has that voice is the only audience member.
Well, it definitely would have felt relevant, you know.
Yeah, this thing received 12 Primetime Emmy Award nominations with 5 wins, including Outstanding Drama Series. Not melodrama, not psychodrama, not cartoon.
Just drama.
Drama, yeah. So if you are a masochist like the rest of us and you want to watch the Ger episodes, he's in season 5, episodes 2 through 6, which do not matter because he's just a floating head. And then episode 9, which is, I kind of liked episode 9, but not for any reason that the writers or creators of the show would like me to enjoy episode 9. No. I think episode 9 would be really funny if someone could just add the yakety sax soundtrack to it, and we'll discuss in a second. So if you're like, have you seen any previous episodes of 24 before now? Because I haven't.
Feel like probably Dad watched 24. This feels like the kind of show he would have at least tried to watch.
Did you remember anything before bounding into season 5?
Of the premise, I knew who the main character was. Like, I knew Kiefer Sutherland was in it, but I don't think I ever like committed any time to.
Yeah, that's about.
I know they brought it back for a hot minute. Like they tried rebooting it.
Yeah, 24 Legacy or something with a different main
And
character.
I remember College Humor had a really funny skit that was like, what if you had 24, but it was set in the 80s? And so it was the like future technology, but it was the 80s. So he has to like steal a floppy disk.
So Airwolf. So
he's like
reimagined
trying
Airwolf.
And then he's like opening the flip phone and he can't get any signal. So he's like trying to get signal to talk to somebody. And I remember thinking that skit was really funny, but I kind of remember thinking 24 was ridiculous in the way that CSI was ridiculous because it was like
Yes. Yeah, they're
real,
similar
but
that way.
not just that bleeding edge of like dramatized technology.
Yeah, technology that did not exist then and still does not exist now because it is cartoon outer space technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to be like, oh, this is like Homeland Security, blah, blah, blah. But I'm always like, okay, first of all, the offices are never that nice. I don't know why everybody looks like they're in an artistic concrete bunker.
Because they're underground in a volcano, just like in Airwolf.
Okay. And then they have the weird technology, which I could forgive. But then for some reason, we always had to throw in like love triangles.
Oh, yeah, for the
and
ladies. For the women who are
catty-
forced to watch this with their husbands. Sure.
catty sex stuff and just like random like why am I not supposed to be mad at the Russians? Why am I mad at Bill the computer guy who won't stop asking this other lady who she fucked? Like I just want to
This show is insane in all the ways a show can be insane, and like where they don't add up to something fun, where they add up to you sitting there like rubbing your temples going, I got 12 more episodes.
There's so
I got 12 more episodes. I thought
ugh.
when I first started watching this, I thought that Ger was being set up to be the big bad because I didn't realize. I have since found out that apparently this is typical for 24 in terms of season structure, where there'll be like 3 little mini arcs. So when the first couple episodes start showing Ger like menacingly walking behind boxes, and all you can see is like his ear with his stupid little Bluetooth headset, which I'm so glad we don't do those anymore. They're so dumb looking. I hate them. But he's got his little like, I'm an evil businessman Bluetooth headset and tie, so that we as the audience know evil Ger.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking behind like computer monitors and what do you call that? The tower, the computer tower, like the
just the
box.
computer tower and a big old projection of a TV on the
Yes,
wall behind
yeah, 'cause
him,
he's
so that
serious and evil.
he can be silhouetted in front of it.
It was so dumb. It was like I feel like I've seen this in like a Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon. Like not even there's James Bond, then there's parody of James Bond, then there's Rocky and Bullwinkle, and that was where like how 24 was showing me Ger. But I was like, okay, you're just showing me like a menacing guy in a suit where all I can see is like 3/4 of his head behind a couple of moving boxes, and he's like muttering to himself. He must be like the big bad. They kill him off in episode 9, and there were so many episodes left. I was like, no, why? I was looking forward to you being like the big evil, and it's just like, meow, helicopter.
Never mind.
This show is such a fucking tease. But anyway, so if anyone actually wants to see the Ger episode, the only one that matters is number 9. So if you want to see like Ger's whole entire, because the other ones he did like in one lunch break,
something more than his profile.
Yeah, if you want to see his entire head and body, which God bless him, I will talk about episode 9 a little bit, but like this whole show is so dumb. So the basic premise is there's a counterterrorism unit, which is not Homeland Security, because later in this one season at least, Homeland Security comes in and is like, no, we're taking over, blah, blah, blah. So they're like a separate division, I guess. Their base appears to be honestly also inside a hollowed out volcano, just like in Airwolf, because they are like clearly underground with no windows. All of the characters are terrible, some of whom seemed pretty autistic, which we will also get into. But they're all like also having sex with each other and know where each other live, which seems weird. Like they don't seem friendly enough to like be having like hangout parties at each other's homes, but like when they have to, they like immediately can find out where they all live. They have, as you said, technology that has never existed. Like at one point they're like, we need to look up the schematics for every air vent in every building in all of Los Angeles. And the guy's like, oh, that's F7. Bloop, bloop. And he like just has it. I sent Matt a text message and I was like, is that a thing that you can do, Matt? And he was like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, are you seriously asking me that question? And I was like, no. Yes. Maybe. I like the idea that like, it's not that the technology is crazy. It's the idea that like, why would there be a repository? Like, why would you have to register the schematics of every air vent in all of Los Angeles? Like, how does that even like conceptually make any sense to anybody? I mean, like if there's like safety requirements or whatever, I imagine that you'd have like some safety person come in and like check it out. They wouldn't be like, okay, I'm keeping a copy of the blueprints for me personally. Like, I don't.
Well, and there's usually a lot of discrepancy between the way it actually gets built and the way it's laid out. Like, they're not always, things change depending on what version of the plan you have.
Well, that's another reason why they wouldn't be able to figure out which building the toxic gas is being shot out. It's so dumb.
Right.
It's so
Yeah,
goddamn dumb. But that's my point. Like, it's not even like, if you're giving me like weird technology, I guess I don't know all the technology that exists in the world in 2006. Maybe this is a thing that exists, but like this is not technology. You're essentially telling me that there's a big book of blueprints somewhere and it just says Los Angeles on the cover. And the guy's like, 1 second, and he thumbs through and he's like, oh yeah, there you go. That's the blueprint I saw. Like, no, that's just dumb. It's so dumb. Okay. So there's this government anti-terrorism unit, and they're not Homeland Security, and they clash with Homeland Security. And Jack Bauer used to be one of their top agents, I fucking guess. I don't give a shit. He's a guy. And before season 5 starts, he has faked his own death for reasons that do have to do with the Chinese. And I only know that because they mentioned the Chinese once, like in episode 1, and then all the way at the end in episode 24, the Chinese are like, "Oh, you thought you escaped us, psych!" And they put him on a boat and they send him to China, and that's how the season ends. They literally knock his ass out and they throw him on a fucking tugboat. And I'm like, okay, sure. Why the fuck not? This man who escaped like 17 vials of poison gas, one Chinese guy looks at him too hard, he passes out, and they throw him in a boat. Okay, sure. So he has faked his death before the season starts, but he was, I guess, one of their like top guys, blah, blah, blah. And they fight crimes and shit. And as you said, like the whole premise of this
crimes and shit.
Fight crimes and shit. I don't know.
There was a video game, Meg. I'm looking up what else Chloe has been in, and she voiced her own character in the video game.
Well, that's good. I would like to see how they made a digital rendering of her face, because she's making, okay, so I will get there in a second. But she's making like, oops, I pooped my pants, I hope no one notices face the entire season. And I looked up this actress, Mary Lynn Ricegab, and she's a comedian, a stand-up comedian. She's actually in a new TV show called North of North, which is a show on the CBC, and I'm really excited to watch that. That sounds kind of cool. It's also on American Netflix. It looks like a fun show. I saw little clips of her in that, just to confirm that she does not have resting I poop my pants face. She does not. She was doing that specifically for 24. I don't know why. I Googled, is her character Chloe supposed to be autistic? Because I feel like in 2006, if I was like, your character is autistic and a computer hacker, probably your instinct as an actress would be, oh, poop face. That's what I'm going to do.
I looked. I poop my pants face.
Yeah. Yes. I looked. No, nowhere on the internet, no one seems to think she had the tism. But this character is she's either autistic or she's a monster. Like, I don't, like, the devil. Anyways, I will get to her in a second. But so the basic premise is they fight crime in their underground lair, beep boop, whatever. So, yeah. So this season has 3 arcs basically, but they don't really matter. What it boils down to is people in the government are they sold nerve gas to Russian separatists. So I think they make up like an Eastern European country that they're actually from, but they were part of the Soviet Union and they hate the Russians. It's that old chestnut,
Yeah.
So they sell the separatists the gas with the idea that the gas canisters will be faulty and not open. So like no one's going to be hurt, but that the American government will then be able to send in troops and be like, aha, look, we found that they've got like nerve toxin. And now we have an excuse that we can go in and mine for oil.
Isn't that entrapment?
Yeah, pretty, yes.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
I was like, isn't that the thing that you can't do where you like...
yeah, treason, also treason, yeah. So that's the idea.
Okay.
And at first we think it's like the president's chief of staff, I think. And then, SpaghettiOs, it turns out the president himself is evil, which, what a funny universe that would be to live in. With an evil president.
Were there consequences?
That was fun too. I did like the consequences.
Oh, look.
That part, I was like, this is clearly a fantasy program. What kind of a weird little fantasy world are we living in? But, so it turns out, the president is the guy who is behind all of this. And essentially they spend all of the season. So the separatists find out that they were sold gas that was never supposed to work. So they're like, you know what? We hated the Russians, but now we hate you guys. So they spend the rest of the season trying to kill the Russian president and also like set off the poison gas in like a hospital and a shopping mall and a little airport. They're just like, they keep going to targets and Jack Bauer keeps thwarting them and they're like, and then they just go to a new target.
Meddling kids.
Meddling kids. Yeah, pretty much. And so Ger's character in this is what? James Nathanson, I feel like. Yeah, James Nathanson. Look at that. I remembered his name.
Woohoo.
Oh, look at me. So James Nathanson, and he is some government agent that was part of the original plot to sell the gas to the separatists. So then the separatists find out that he has tried to pull a fast one on them, and then they go after him and they kill him in the most hilarious way possible. But like
tragic. You mean tragic, I think.
I do not mean tragic. I mean Ger's thing is dying funny on a rooftop. I don't know why that's
Should we add that to the characteristics?
Yes, it's happened twice now. It's now a characteristic. Because the other one was what the Bionic Woman, Woman movie,
which is on Tubi. And every time, is it on Tubi or like Peacock, like a paid service that I pay for? And every time I go on there, it advertises it for me, and I'm like, no, Peacock, no, I'm not. It's
we know what you like.
It's like it's got Sandra Bullock in it, and I'm like, I knew that. I already knew that.
Girl, don't be ashamed.
It's like I'm not. That's not.
We know what you're into. Look at Ger fall off a rooftop. You can watch it over and over again.
I'm here for Resident Alien. Get off my back about it. And it's like, but don't you want to watch Sandra Bullock while you're here? No.
I am still like 2.5 seasons behind in Resident Alien. And like when it was airing, you know how there was like that break? I know this is not what we're talking about, but there was that break like in season 2 where they're like, we're going to air the rest of it later. Don't worry about it. I could not like emotionally come back from that break. And I want to watch it. I like Alan Tudyk. I like him a lot. I want to see what happens to that weird little town. I just cannot seem to get myself into it. So I might need your emotional encouragement later. Cause I want to watch it. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, I'm in season 3 and I got to a point where the gags are funny. The jokes are funny. I'm happy to be there. But when I stop watching it, I don't remember that I was watching it.
Yes.
So then when I go back to watch it, I'm like, oh, I'll watch an episode. I watch an episode and then I leave again for like months. And then I'm like, oh, right. I was watching Resident Alien. Oh, see, and I just think there's nothing happening that's getting me to come back and watch it.
See, that's how I feel also. Like, I feel like when I first started watching it, I don't remember what the plot even was. I mean, I know that he's like an alien and he killed that doctor and he's pretending to be him, whatever. But like, I remember thinking that there was like some kind of plot, something driving like everything forward. And now I'm like, what was it? All I remember is thinking at some point they're going to tell me that the mayor is secretly like a half alien baby. And I don't know why I thought that. I think he talks about something that happened during his childhood or like when his mom was pregnant with him. And it just felt like they were setting that up and then like nothing ever, maybe something happens in season 3 or 4.
He goes like walking at night. He goes like sleepwalking. He's being like abducted by aliens, but we don't know that for like a long time. Yeah, it gets good. Every time.
See, I don't remember anything that happened except a general good vibe of Alan Tudyk. Like I will watch Alan Tudyk read the phone book.
Every time I watch it, I'm not mad. I watched it. I just don't remember to go back.
It's a little bit like meeting Ger, I think. You watch it and you're like, I think I had a good time, but afterwards you're just mind wiped. You're
just like, I don't know what happened.
I bet something good.
It was. I somehow remember more of 24.
Goddamn show.
This
show it's like Airwolf in that one, I do think that they are based in an underground volcano, and 2, it made me appreciate James Mullen even more because like. You'd never think about the guys doing the music and sound for these shows. Like it never, like when it's done well, it's seamless. Here it was not done well, and it was so fucking painful. And then what they do is because every episode is an hour in real time, so they like build in the commercial breaks. So,
beep.
Oh my god, that fucking beep
timer.
Yeah, so right after every commercial break, they show like, here's what the current time is. And I'm like, I could not give a shit. I do not. It turns out that the whole conceit of your show, I give 0.0 shits about. But they're like, right before the commercial break, they're like, it's 3:27 and 45 seconds a.m. And then they're like, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop. And I'm like, I heard enough beep boops. I don't need any more. And then when
Yeah.
you come back from the commercial break, they're like, now it's 3:33 in 6 seconds. Beep, boop, beep, boop. And I'm like, just blow it up. Blow whatever the fuck. Is this a bomb? Blow it up. I hate it. I hate this clock. I hate it so much. But okay, so Ger's character is part of the plot to sell the gas to the not Russians. And so when they find out, Ger is like trying to make some kind of a deal with Jack Bauer, which I rewatched that part of the episode right before we came back on. It's still unclear to me what he thought he was going to get, except maybe Jack Bauer's like your personal bodyguard, which again, I would read that fan fiction. I would like to see how that goes. Just gentle vampire lovers. I'm into it.
It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just two strong blonde Canadian men who have played famous vampires who were both born in the UK and raised in Canada. Like it's very
They have so
very
much
specific.
in common.
I know.
They have so much to talk about.
Now kiss. Okay. So you know what? I don't want that only because Jack Bauer is not really nice to any of his lovers in this show. Like,
no.
This is awful. So, but I will say I did appreciate that in some of those reviews that were talking about how much they love the show, at least a couple of people did use the word anti-hero. And I was like, well, at least that was clear to them, because when watching it, I was like, you know how when we were watching Airwolf, like they were just murdering everyone and everyone was cool with it? He's murdering people here at the exact same rate as everyone does in Airwolf. So I was like, are we also supposed to be cool with it? And it turns out we're supposed to be cool with it, but like in a Walter White way, where at least we are sort of vaguely like, oh yeah, that's maybe not.
He's getting the job done.
Good, but he's getting the job done. So, Ger's character calls up like one of Jack Bauer's like 17 girlfriends and is like, give me Jack Bauer. And she's like, why? And he's like, because I said so. And she's like, okay, because she's a pushover. So they get to him and he's like, come to this payphone. And he's like, okay. So they drive to this payphone. He talks to Ger on a payphone, and Ger's and Jack Bauer's like, are you here somewhere? And Ger's like, I want to make sure you're like, you didn't come with someone else. And I'm like, fucking why? Like Jack Bauer's like a one-man army. Like this guy like is a human Swiss army. Like, you know what I mean? Like what?
Yeah.
What
like
do you?
MacGyver, if MacGyver killed people.
Yeah, if MacGyver had no moral compass, that's Jack Bauer. Like, what do you? But okay, sir. He gives him like instructions. He's like, go in this building or go up the stairs. And Jack Bauer goes up the outside stairs and like pops his head up like a groundhog on the roof and is like, hey, so it turns out that there's like some angry not Russians in a helicopter coming in. Where are you? And Ger's character is immediately like, oh, I'm down the stairs to the left. Like immediately, like 2 seconds ago, you were like, I can't trust you. And then the second that Jack Bauer's like, oh, maybe there's a helicopter, Ger's like, oh shit, we're on the same side. I'm like, okay, all right, sir, sure. So,
okay,
poor Ger.
They were like, now can you run? And he was like, I mean, I have in the past, so I'm physically capable of doing it, I think. The physicality of this like one scene, it breaks my heart a little. It's not his fault. Okay, so Ger's character, Ger is wearing a black suit with the tiniest pinstripes. I did have to pause to be like, to check, because they're almost invisible until like the light hits them at the right angle, and then it just looks like little jail stripes. So a black suit with a black dress shirt. And when I paused it, I did not see a tie, but like it was hard to tell. So like, but black on black on black, and dress loafers, which I don't think he like brought loafers from home. I think these are like brand new loafers that have never been broken in. And I say that because they make him run while holding a giant, very plastic looking gun, like one of those long, like a rifle kind of. Yeah.
In this black suit with this black dress shirt and these brand new shoes in what appears to be California in like August. This poor man. He is sweating.
So hot. He looks
so like
hot.
He's going to melt. He looks like he's going to die. And they make him run through this warehouse. And I choose to believe that this was all an acting choice. And he was like, you know what? I bet my guy has done a lot of shady deals, but he has never had to run in dress shoes before. Because Ger is doing what I can only describe as like middle-aged man with a firecracker up his ass ballet moves. He is like trying to like dance through the floor of this building Well, a bunch of not Russians chase after him and shoot at him. And the look on his face is like legitimate panic. Like, nobody trained me for how to do this episode. And I'm afraid that I'm going to get like singed on my butt hairs. He is dancing around in like, he's trying to do a good job, but it is the silliest thing I've ever seen. And then one point he has to go like, and like flop himself over what appears to be, no joke, an abandoned chest freezer in the middle of this empty factory. It's not like the chest freezer factory. I need to make that clear.
It's either a refrigerator laying down or it's a chest freezer. And it's like in the middle of this large open warehouse space. And he has to yoink himself over top of it.
One single lonely chest freezer. And he has to launch his ass over top of it. Again, wearing brand new leather loafers and a black suit.
Gone around the end. It's fine.
He could have. For us, though, he was like, no, I think my character is just going to yeet himself over. Just what? And then the bullets are just whizzing right through the chest freezer. They're not even stopping the bullets at all. Oh my God. So then he gets up to the roof and it's like he was sweating a little bit inside because he's running. He gets to the roof and it literally looks like they filmed it in like the Arizona desert at high noon. He is sweating. It is peeling down his face. His whole body just looks damp. And he has to run across this roof and like hide behind. It's like a video game obstacle course. Like, why is this shit on the roof? Where did it come from? Who put it here? What is going on? That is not like the building storage area. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like no one was coming up here to like have a smoke break and sit on like a random little cube. It would have made more sense if they said that this was like the next level of the hypercube, because I would have been like, okay, so it's just shit for no reason.
No, not
all right,
hypercube.
Sure. So he has to like run and dance and like, I don't know what it is about this gun. I don't know if it's just a very light prop. I don't know if it's the fact that like in some angles, it kind of looks like you can see the little orange like at the muzzle that I feel like I've only ever seen on toy cap guns. I don't know if it's the fact that he's having to like hold it with one arm and do like little ballerina spins while he dances across the roof. But it's like, if you mentally just start hearing the Yakety Sax theme song, like it's perfect. It lines up just right. And then he has to do another thing where he like eats himself over something else. And then Jack Bauer's like, stare down. And Ger's like, what? And the helicopter comes back. And he gets striked from the helicopter. And then he does my favorite thing about a Ger dying scene with Jack. So Jack Bauer comes there's like, tell me where to find the gas. He's like doing his gravelly voice at him. And Ger's response is, put your hand in my pocket. And I'm like, sir. It's not that kind of show, but like, thank you. He makes him put his hand in his pocket. He pulls out some kind of like tiny SD card, and Jack Bauer's like, "What even is this? What's on this?" And Ger's like, and just dies. He throws his head back.
You missed the part where he's on the roof and the helicopter's coming back. So he crawls out from behind, like he's behind cover. He crawls out towards a gun to get the gun as the helicopter is coming over. So instead of being safe, he gets shot. Like if he just stayed where he was, but he has to like, and then when they shoot him, he's like, like he does this like shake. They're like, okay, now pretend you're getting hit by a lot of bullets. So he's like, okay. And he does like,
I would like to say that like as bad as the show was, I think he earned his ham sandwich that day.
He did. He worked so hard.
I bet he lost like 40 pounds trying to run around in that heat.
He was like, I need sodium. Is this the good shit ham?
Bring me the Iberico. I just like, the one thing I will say that I appreciate is, so there are lots of famous guest stars in this season. There's Connie Britton. Jean Smart plays the wife of the president. She's in a whole bunch of episodes. There's what's the name of the guy that he was in Blood Ties and he died in the mountains in real life?
Julian Sands.
Thank you. Julian Sands comes in later as like the big bad out of all big bads. Who is he? I think he was one of the Russian separatists, but like Maybe not. Who gives
With
a
a
shit?
British accent, because Julian never does
Yes.
any other accents. He's like, I am a British Russian man.
I appreciate that he's like, fuck it. You want me? This is my voice. This is the voice that
This
you'll
is
be getting.
who you get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm from Kazakhstan, but like I studied at the London School of Drama. So this is who I sound like now.
Mhm.
Turns out, yeah. So there's like lots of actors who I've seen. Oh, DB Woodside. There are lots of actors that I've seen in other things.
Yeah.
So I know that, and obviously Kiefer Sutherland, who I've admittedly only ever seen in Lost Boys, but I feel like that gives me an idea of his dramatic range. But so like I know that these actors, if you need them to act, like they can. That's a thing that they can do. If you need them to be able to show range and like emotion, they're all good actors. Oh, the Hobbit, what's his face? Sean Astin. Sean Astin is in this.
Yes.
Crazily enough.
He looks so young in it too.
I think it's Sean Astin's face. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could tell me that Sean Astin
It
was
is.
still 12 years old, and I'd be like, that sounds right.
Yeah,
I know
fair.
he's older than me, but the fact that he would still be 12, I'm like, yeah, that lines up with what he looks like.
Yeah.
He plays a total asshole in this, which I really enjoy. And then Jack Bauer makes him sacrifice his life. Makes him like be a sacrificial victim for everyone else. And also like Jack Bauer at one point will just put like a handkerchief up to his nose and like hold his breath, and it turns out that his breath holding skills are better than the killing potential of, I guess, neurotoxin. I don't fucking know. This show is such a cartoon. It's so dumb. Jack Bauer's literally like, all right, I'm holding my breath. And like walks through a room full of poison gas that killed all of his colleagues, and he's fine. He's like Super Mario. Do you know what I mean? Like he can be underwater for 12 minutes at a time, and like it's just fine. I've seen these other actors in other things where they had more freedom to emote. So I can say they're all good actors. I really enjoy watching them in other things. I think they're all very talented. In 24, for reasons I don't understand, every character has to be like extremely wooden while doing melodrama. It's such a weird line that they all like nobody like has any emotion. Even Jean Smart, who is supposed to be having like several different psychiatric breakdowns per episode, which I did not enjoy. I don't feel like they handled that super sensitively.
What's the purpose of her character? She's the first lady, and everyone's trying to contact her and give her secrets.
As I'm sure happens in real life.
She's supposed to like police school lunches or some shit. Like they don't have a...
It was very weird. I mean, she gets sort of a redemption at the very, very end. Her character wears a wire and basically tricks her husband, the president, into like admitting, I was behind all these murders. I was behind all this shit. And so then she's like, her evidence is the reason that her husband gets arrested. So she gets to have like a little like comeuppance, but like the way they treat her this whole season is really gross. The husband keeps like basically threatening her, like, if you don't get in line, I'm going to send you back to the asylum, which is not a thing that I enjoy hearing anyone say to a character one time. And I did not enjoy having it said to her like once per episode for 24 episodes.
Yeah.
It was awful. And funnily enough, the Chloe character says the same thing to another like a rando it's either Rooney Mara or Rooney Mara's sister, because they look the same to me. But so like she ends up saying the same thing to like this other woman who works in the lab with her. There's just a theme of people threatening women to send them to asylums, and I was like, I kind of had hoped that we would not be doing that in 2006.
Well, they should probably try not being so hysterical. Have you considered?
Oh my God. The way the show handled mental health was like, I was watching it and I was like, I know this is 2006, but if you had told me that this was like 1976, I would have been like, yeah, that feels on point.
Correct.
That feels right. Yeah. They keep threatening the crazy women to send them to asylums. And the one that Chloe threatens, the reason they think she's crazy is because she's like, I didn't like when my boss put his hand on my shoulder and like left it there and was gropey groperson. And they're like, you're a crazy feminist. And I was like, I don't love this show. I do not enjoy. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but I don't like it.
Oh
my
God.
God.
That was such an era for this, because like this is the same era as Bones. And Bones, like when they first come out, the character of Bones, whose name I've forgotten, Dr.
Temperance Brennan.
Yes. She's very stiff and like smart and logical. And then as time goes on, she's a little bit softer and more mother-like and whatever. Like, it was a very women had to be presented a certain way during this time period. And so you're
Yeah.
either the crazy lady who's just stirring shit up, or you're the, like, I'm focused on my job, but I also want room for love character.
Ugh, which is the Chloe character, and she's so confusing. So they keep Mary-Lynn Rice-Cobb is a very pretty woman. They dress her like a child. Like they put like
Yeah.
a little baby cardigan on her that she wears the entire episode, this little olive green cardigan. They start the season with her getting out of bed with some guy who is, I think it's like a one night stand, but she works with him and sees him a couple times, I think. So it's like not a relationship, just like a one night stand. They give her poop face the entire season.
Yeah, you're really not overselling that face because she's making that same stupid face.
Yes. So I sent
This-
you
yeah.
I sent you a picture. So I know that you don't watch Bob's Burgers. I love Bob's Burgers. At some point I will strap you to a chair and make you watch it like in Clockwork Orange because I love Bob's Burgers so fucking much. But there's a character called Tina, and she's the daughter of Bob, Tina Belcher. And there's a little face that she makes when she's perturbed. And I sent you a picture of it because I knew that you hadn't watched the show because I needed you to see what that face is. And so anyone who's seen Bob's Burgers, it's the face that Tina makes when she's like trying not to divulge a secret, basically, where she looks like she's about to crap her pants. And she has just like this horrible grimace that's like a full face grimace, like when she's just trying to like hold something in. That is what Mary-Lynn Rice-Cobb looks like the entire season.
That's the exact same face. Yeah.
It is the exact same.
Yeah.
I will put it on the Instagram so that everyone can understand which Tina Belcher face I'm talking about. But like I said, I looked up, I was like, I Googled, I was like, does Mary-Lynn Rice-Cobb have like resting poop face? She does not. She's a very pretty lady. I don't understand why they gave her character that, like, her character is, to me, watching it now, and I realize like every episode we say someone is autistic coded, but it turns out there are a lot of autistic coded characters on TV, at least according to me. That's my own personal spin on this.
She
but,
is quite, yeah.
Like weirdly, like no emotions, but also sort of childlike and very like angry if anyone gets in the way of her doing her job, and like just very like hyper focused. And at one point during the season, a coworker who seems to be like a friend of hers, like he has the feeling of like a character who's been in previous seasons, like he has that kind of long-standing character feel. He will die from poison gas in front of her, and Jack Bauer's like, I know you're basically an autistic robot, so like TikTok, we got shit to do. And she's having like a full-on mental breakdown because she just saw her friend die in front of her, and it turns out that autistic people are actually people, and they can feel sad if someone dies in front of them. And Jack Bauer like is not computing. He's like, just reboot, just like control F, like just whatever you need to do to like make those gears start turning again. I got people to save, and that's when he decides to go behind a wall panel and just hold his breath real good, and that's how he defeats poison gas. But it's such a weird character, and then for that character who feels very like mental health coded, like there are like there's issues here, probably people have treated you kind of shitty, for that character to be the one that goes, hey bitch, I will send you to the mental asylum so goddamn fast if you don't get out of my way. I was like, oh no, Chloe, oh, you hurt my heart. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. But so that's how they treat, so that's like her treating a one-off character. And then the wife of the president, Jean Smart, they are threatening her with the asylum every 5 minutes, and then she has like mental breakdowns. But again, no character in this show can like actually emote, so she's just having like weird stony faced mental breakdowns, which are very upsetting to watch. I don't like the emotionless mental breakdown face. It is upsetting. It is horrifying. And then when she realizes that her husband, who looks like Richard Nixon but has been played like a moron until like one episode from the end, when they're like, aha, he's the mastermind, and I'm like, but
he's the principal from Forrest Gump.
I haven't seen that in so long.
The principal from when he's a kid, the one that his mother has sex with so that he can get into the school.
Well, that actually, okay, then this guy's career has a theme, because like one episode from the end, one or two from the end, in order to stall him so that Jack Bauer can get on his little helicopter and do a bunch of bullshit, blah, 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 Jean Smart, who is disgusted by him, who fucking hates him, who knows, like, who has just realized that he's behind all of these things, and he was willing to kill her, that he was willing to kill hundreds of Americans, that he was willing to kill the Russian president, that he was willing to kill like thousands of Russian nationals, like realizing like the despicable nature of him. She's just realized all this. She hates him. And then Jack Bauer and his team are like, hey, can you distract your husband for a couple minutes? She goes and has sex with him. And I was like, oh no. Oh no,
Wow.
Jean Smart. And like she plays it very well. But again, all the characters in this entire show have this weird sheen of like non-emoting. So there's like this weird waxy non-emoting, but behind it, like her eyes are like disgusted but trying to play horny. And she does it perfectly. But it is the grossest thing I've ever seen. And like it's gross for two reasons. It's gross like one, because like she's forcing herself to like let this gross character like have sex with her. Like it's gross like on a mental level.
Yeah.
But also her husband looks like Richard Nixon. And I don't know what this actor looks like in real life. I'm sure he's a very handsome, nice man with a wife and kids. I'm sure I'm sure people have enjoyed having sex with him. But like watching him, I'm like, first off, you are too ugly for Jean Smart. Jean Smart is a goddamn goddess. How dare you? And then watching him like go up to Jean Smart and his like he's doing the like smarmy face that sort of suggests that he knows she doesn't want this, but he's like, any port in a storm and use my wife. So sure. Like he gives me the creeps. He's just so ugly looking. And like, I'm sure on his own, like if he walked down the street and I saw him, I wouldn't start vomiting in a trash can. I'm sure he's fine. But like,
I might.
He's got such a creepy, I don't know how to explain it, because like Richard Nixon, for all of his many flaws, like you never think of him as like a dummy. Do you know what I mean? But this character is played as very, very stupid until like one episode from the end. So he's
probably
like
a George W. Bush stand-in.
It could be, yeah. But it's like this weird mix of like Nixon wasn't super handsome, and also this character is like remarkably, like he's almost brain damaged dumb, so he's like a brain damaged Richard Nixon, and then Jean Smart having to make out with him. I was like, I don't like any of this. I don't enjoy any of this. And that's on top of the like Jean Smart basically letting herself get raped by not Richard Nixon. And I was just like, oh, this show never ends. It never fucking ends. So like I appreciate that they let her get the like last word over her husband, but it is after like 23 and a half episodes of her having to like scream and dunk her head into a sink full of water, and then like nearly get killed by like a bomb on the Russian limousine that she's riding in, and just having to kiss and like aggressively make out with this real unfortunate looking man who is just playing a real slime ball. And I want better for Jean. I'm glad that she's in Hacks now. I'm glad she's getting awards and shit. I'm glad that they're letting her use her face for acting, which seems like a key part of the acting business, if I had to guess. But oh my God, this show, I just like every character kind of sucks. Jack Bauer, like no one's allowed to like have any. I don't know how, like somehow it felt super melodramatic without anyone being able to use their faces to act. Like I don't know how you managed to have that. And like it's so implausible. Like at one point you were texting me and you're like, why are they storing poison gas at the fucking like the airport?
At
like
the
John Wayne Airport.
They're like, it's in a bunker under the airport. Why is there a bunker under the airport with poison gas in it?
Right. Why is that where you would choose to store it? Like none of this makes any goddamn sense. But I will say, I did enjoy that they had an evil, venal president who at the end was arrested by people in the government who still thought laws existed. I thought, wow, crazy.
Yeah.
What would that be like?
That's fiction.
Yeah, but it was, it like carried me away a little. It let me have my little emotional freedom for a moment.
That's
yeah,
fair.
I was like, oh, what would that be like? That little fantasy world that this show is in. But
I might be wrong. He may not be the guy who's in Forrest Gump.
Oh, the president. His last name is, it's like Itzen or Eatson.
It is, yeah. I think I'm incorrect. But it's a guy who looks similar. But he's been in 184 things.
Good for him.
A lot of stuff. Murder, She Wrote.
Aw. As long as he's not raping Jean Smart and anything else, I would give him another chance. I just
Not that I know
so
of.
creepy in this. But like all of the reviews, like if you liked 24 single audience member who's listening to this, if you liked 24, like good for you. You're not alone. We are probably alone and not enjoying it. I mean,
it's just not our thing. Like if I liked political drama stuff, it probably would be at least entertaining.
I guess, but like
not in like a realism way, but in like a that was really a cool moment that happened there. And instead of being like, why did he take the teenager with him? What was the teenager gonna do? Who was he gonna call?
See, that's the problem with this, is it's like it's too dumb. Like if it were just like a little bit, if it were like James Bond, where there are things happening that are like kind of implausible, but they treat it with like a level of seriousness and like world building, I'd be like, oh, okay. Or like where it's like fun, like James Bond movies are fun, even if you sit there and you're like, I can't follow all the 17 different organizations that are trying to blow up Russia, but like this guy's handsome and he's got a tuxedo and he's got his little gun and
there's a quirky little villain.
With like an eye patch or a Persian cat or something. Ooh,
all right, good. I'm here for that. And then they kept doing the like where it would be a square and it would get small and then they'd show you what everyone was doing concurrently.
Yes.
And it kept reminding me of, did you ever see the Ang Lee Incredible Hulk?
I have not.
Eric Bana is the Incredible Hulk?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You need to watch it. Not because it's a good movie at all, but because it's one of the first comic book movies, like one of the first modern era comic book movies.
Oh, yeah.
And so Ang Lee was like, I know the perfect way to transition. And it'll be the end of a scene and everyone will turn into a cartoon character, like a comic book character version of themselves with a little speech bubble of what they just said. And it will zoom out and it will pan down and zoom into another frame of the comic book.
Oh, that's obnoxious.
And it does that for every scene transition.
No. Like one time I would have been like, okay, that's cute. Thank you. Never again.
That's what it reminded me of. I remember going to see it in theaters and because I like the Incredible Hulk and I was like, well, this is okay. And then it was on TV. And so I was watching it and I was laughing so hard because it is so over the top.
But that's exactly how 24 feels. Like it feels like maybe at the time I would have been like, well, not me, a person at the time would have been like, oh yeah, this is like fun, but also kind of like serious and dramatic and like, look how cool this is. And now I'm just like, shut the fuck up. Everyone shut the fuck up. Stop showing me the time. Stop showing me like.
Everyone shut up.
I'm not going to lie. Like, at about episode 13, when I was just white knuckling it, just trying to get through, I started going, how come I never see anybody eat? Why has no one gone to the bathroom? It's been like 12 hours. Why hasn't Jack Bauer taken a shit? I bet Jack Bauer really needs to, like, it was making me crazy. It was making me, do you know what I never think about during like any other program? How come no one has taken a shit? But if you're showing me like the legit 24 hours, I guess I have to assume that during the 12 seconds Jack Bauer's not on screen, he's like running off and like pissing like a fire hose and then like running back to save the day. Like fucking what?
The part where I totally checked out was when there's the hostage crisis and they have the like teenage kid on his knees. One of the terrorists is standing behind him with a gun to his head. They're all trying to figure out how to save all of these people that have been taken hostage. They've already shot one hostage. It's all very dramatic. Jack is in the building. They know he's in the building. They're trying to figure out how to get him around. A lot is happening. And so Chloe is sitting at her computer trying to help Jack and free the hostages and take care of this very dramatic, very time-sensitive situation. And this other character walks over and he's like, I didn't know you were sleeping with that guy. And like wants to have this conversation about who she's dating at the office. And she's like, there's a hostage situation. And he's like, you're just trying to avoid having this conversation. And
yes,
I was
but
like,
also hostages.
And that was like a microcosm of how that show felt for me, was like, you want me to believe that these people are in mortal peril. And that if these idiots in this concrete bunker don't get their shit together, we're all going to die of a poison gas attack. but then you keep panning back to them, and it's like the Real Housewives of the concrete bunker every time we fucking go back there.
Correct. Well, it feels like someone was sitting in like a writer's room and they're like, okay, what do guys like? And someone raised their hands and they're like, guns. And they're like, all right, guns. What do women like? Interpersonal drama. And they're like, all right, we're going to do both those things. Ready? Like
guns and interpersonal drama. Yes.
It is so, but you're right. It is so weird because they seem like they do that a lot. Like there's a whole subplot with Jean Smart, like maybe being attracted to her bodyguard, Aaron Pierce. Who gives a shit? Who fucking gives a shit? Like why?
No one.
Why is this?
No one. That's not where I need this right now.
No. First off, again, stop giving Jean Smart ugly men to date. She needs to get only the finest, hottest cuts of meat. She's goddamn Jean Smart. Have respect. But like separately, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Like his character, the bodyguard character, is like sort of relevant in that he figures out, or he's part of the group figuring out that the president is evil and the president is trying to have him shot. And so Jean Smart will save his life. You could do all of that without it being like, oh, also they want to have kissy later. Like it doesn't matter. Like I don't care. Like she can be concerned about him as a human person and not because she wants to get some of that bodyguard dick. Like I don't. Like, who gives a shit? Jack Bauer, he starts off dating Connie Britton when he's living in exile under a fake name. He then, like, 2 episodes later is like, sorry, that's not my real name. Yeet. And just, like, leaves her forever. She has no idea. She's still sitting at her kitchen table waiting for him.
Steals her child.
Oh, yeah, that too. Yeah. Well, he's an annoying teenager, so, like, who gives a shit if he gets his head blown off?
He did follow him, so...
Yeah. I mean, it's really, it's the teen's fault. It's her stupid teenager's fault.
He's like, get in the helicopter. That was the part where I was like, at what point is this practical? Because he's like, I can't leave you here. You'll call the police. You could just tell him, don't call the police. I am the police. I'm fucking, like, trust me, you don't want to get into this. Because he ends up taking him with him. Not just like, get in the car, we're going for a drive, but... get in the helicopter I'm about to steal. Yeets off into...
Jack Bauer, the babysitter, would not be my first choice, honestly.
I mean, he takes him in the helicopter to, like, Los Angeles. His mom calls, and he's like, oh, yeah, I have him with me. I can't tell you where I am or who I am right now, but come to Los Angeles.
Yeah, and everyone's fine with it. They're like, okay.
And she's like, I mean, if I have to, but, like, Los Angeles is a really far drive. And he's like, sorry, I had to make you go this far. Whatever. Anyway. And then the kid ends up getting taken hostage because he runs in to save Jack Bauer. Where previously he hated Jack Bauer and he got kidnapped by Jack Bauer. Yeah. And then he just watched Jack Bauer murder people. And then he was like, but what if he gets hurt?
I like that character was like, I think this crazy guy that's this boarder who's living in our house and definitely fucking my mom, I think he's hiding something, and then finds out this guy's like a super spy, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, I know what you're hiding now, so like I'm on team Jack Bauer. What?
I only wanted the truth.
Fucking what? So then Jack like abandons her like 2.5 episodes in, and then comes back to the CTU office where he, I guess, had been working before, picks up with ex-girlfriend Audrey, has some drama with his teenage daughter, his 20-year-old daughter that thought he was dead because for her safety, blah, 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 who herself is dating like a 40-year-old man with like a very fake-looking beard. He's got one of those beards. He has evil version of you beard. Do you know, like whenever you see like a cartoon and someone has like the Van Dyke that says I'm the evil version of myself? That's the beard this man has. He's a psychiatrist, and I'm like, oh, I don't love this 20-year-old dating evil Van Dyke psychiatrist who's 45. Like there's so much to unpack here, but the show is like, no time, blah, like splats that away. And then Jack Bauer, so he picks up with like his ex-girlfriend, I guess, Audrey, who at one point has like some vital artery in her arm sliced, and the bad guy's like, oh, she has 2 minutes to live, but Jack Bauer just makes that not true. He just like ties a belt. He's like, yeah, you're good forever now. And I'm like, I feel like a tourniquet really only gives you like slightly longer to get to a fucking hospital, but it turns out no, that's just what do I know? But I don't know.
It's like in D&D, if you drop to 0 hit points or below, like if you get hit by a fireball or something, another character can come over and roll a like medicine check, And if they succeed, then they've stabilized you. They don't bring you back to life, but you're not going to die. Like, otherwise, you can possibly die in the next couple of turns. But they can literally just walk over and roll dice. I feel like that was Jack. Like,
Yes.
I did a medicine check and she's fine now.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to worry about this. It is now not urgent in the least. You'll probably live because I'm magic. But at one point, he thinks that she's part of this giant scheme. It doesn't really make any sense. It's a big lie. It doesn't make any sense. Although comes out of the mouth of Stan Akatic, who, besides being in Castle, also played a vampire. So at one point, I was just counting famous vampire actors who had been in the show because it was all that was keeping me awake. But anyway, so he thinks that the ex-girlfriend, like, maybe is part of this evil scheme, even though he's known her, he's dated her for, like, it seems like several years. Like, he's like, I don't think she'd be involved in this, but some random woman said she was, so guess I'm gonna go beast mode. And he goes, and she's in an interrogation room, and he chokes her against the fucking wall. And then when he realizes that she wasn't part of the whole conspiracy, they're best buddies again and start making out. And I'm like, he goddamn choked you. Like, he threw you up against a fucking wall. So when I read that review that was like, Jack Bauer is unfailingly respectful, I'm like, of what? Of what? He choked a bitch. You're not supposed to choke a bitch. That's like the number one rule with bitches. You don't choke them.
It's the number one rule.
Like, this whole show was just so weird. And so, like, I'm happy that it got awards. Good for them. I'm happy for the actors that got awards. But, like, it's so bizarre. It's just, like, the computer stuff makes no sense. The, like, why this took 24 episodes to stop, like, several different plots where it's just like it's like watching, like, chess pieces move across a board. Like, now the gas is here. Uh-oh, it went up 3 over 2. Now the gas is over here. I'm just like, fucking.
What did she play a vampire in?
It was a made-for-TV movie on TNT with Noah Wyle, and I think it was called it was either one of the Librarians movie or
okay.
It's a deep cut in her career, but she's poor Stan Akatic. Like, I don't know if it's because, I mean, she's good at doing Eastern European accents, and she looks Eastern European, but, like, in half the shit that she's in when she's not, like, the main character, they're like, I don't know, sound Slavic. And she's like, okay. So she got to sound Slavic and be a vampire. Oh, yeah, here. Simone Renoir in the 3rd installment of the Librarian franchise. The Librarian, Curse of the Judas Chalice. Because you can't have vampires without Judas. I'm not proud that I know she was in this, okay? I don't feel good about this. But, like,
I was like, oh, I didn't know there was vampires in that one. I'd watch it now.
When you're watching something and you're like, it's essentially pornography where you're like, just hit the beats, man. Just hit the beats I want. And they're like, bam,
you know what
bam,
I need
bam,
from you?
bam. Yeah.
Let's give it to me.
Give me
Let's
the things I need.
done.
Yeah. That's what this movie is from. What year is this? 2008. Okay, so she was in 24, 2 years before she was in this Librarian movie. I don't feel good that I knew this, okay? I'm not real proud of myself. I feel a little ashamed.
I respect it.
I remember it hitting the points I needed it to hit. Like, it did not try to be a good movie. It like knew what it was here for. So, like, thank you, Noah Wyle. Chef's kiss. You did a good job, man. I don't know what else to say about 24. It sucked except for, like, watching Ger sweat his balls off, which was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
9 episodes into a 24 episode season.
I had to keep watching.
I had to.
I promised myself I was going to watch all the things.
You tried to watch it for months too. Like, it took a long time to watch it.
It came down to the wire. I kept being like, I can't watch any more of this. It just got stupider and stupider. I don't know. If you want something sort of serious and political, you watch The West Wing, even though, like, I had to stop watching The West Wing when I was like, oh, he made all of his female characters morons. I don't really enjoy watching it, like, now. Like, now that once you like see it, you can't unsee it. And so I was like, oh, I did enjoy this show, and now it's ruined for me. But, like, if you want something sort of serious-y but sort of fun, like, you watch that. This was just bang bang terrorists? Like, I don't
Bang
know.
bang terrorist.
If you're like, you know what I hate about acting? People that use their faces. Watch 24, because the only person using their face is Marilyn Rice-Cobb, and she's using it too much. Too much face. Only poop face. Like, she gets out of bed with her lover, poop face. She sees her friend die in front of her, poop face. She talks to Jack Bauer, who, spoiler alert, Marilyn Rice-Cobb, I found some interview because I was Googling, like, is this character autistic, or is this just a thing I see in every show I watch? And all I got from it was Marilyn Rice-Cobb saying that she thinks her character is secretly in love with Jack Bauer. Even when she's with Jack Bauer, still poop face. Like, it was such a weird why do you look like you're smelling shit? Why is that the face that you're making? I don't think all autistic people make that face. I mean, maybe there's like some people that permanently have smelling shit face, but like I have not seen that in real life. I don't know where you got this from in your little cardigan.
Just a scowl. Just a scowl, just a scowl. It was a choice. Choices were made. And then, of course, everyone's confronting her because it kind of implies that she had sex with that guy. And they're like, I can't believe you did that. And then she has to like, at them. Like, none of your business.
It does feel sort of paternalistic because, like, I know Marilyn Rice-Cobb, the actress at the time she filmed this, had to have been in at least her 30s. But, like, personality-wise, this is a 7-year-old girl. And so her being like, I had sex. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you don't know.
It does feel very scummy. You're like, who let you? Do you not have a guardian?
There should be a little fence around you.
And then, like, the guy that she had sex with, like, betrayed them. Sort of?
Yes. Yeah, that vaguely sounds
familiar. I don't remember, because she's like, what are you even doing over there? It's every time she talks, you're like, what was your direction? What was your
face just right? You're doing exactly right.
Because, I mean, she did it for
24 episodes.
Let's see, we watched 6 episodes. I watched 6 episodes. She did it for 6 hours. And she's in a lot of it, too. And she's trying to talk to the teenager, and she's making a dumber face than the teenager is. Because he's like, where's Jack? What's Jack doing? And she's like, I'm kind of focusing right now. Like, stop talking to me.
It's so weird. It's such a weird choice.
Okay. And she's like, beep boop. And then she has to like type on her computer. And then somehow she like hits 2 keys, and it shows like a schematic of the entire building they're in with little lighted up dots for where every FBI agent is.
Yeah, obviously that comes pre-installed on every MacBook.
It's like iMovie, iFBI. And then later they disappear, and she's like, they're interfering with my uplink or whatever. They kept just making up words.
There was definitely, about like an hour and a half in, I was like, those words aren't real. I know those words aren't real.
More than twice, Jack Bauer calls her and says, I need you to data mine this. What? He gets a thumb drive, which it was 2006. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That thumb drive probably had 500 megabytes on it. And he's like, I need you to data mine this thumb drive. And she's like, okay.
I put a really big GIF on there of the badger that dances and says his own name. I need you to find the secret inside the code.
It's just that video from 2006 that was the icebergs or the oh my God. It was the one where a meteor is going to hit the earth. Do you remember that one? I'm a little tired.
No.
You don't remember? Oh, okay. It was
I'm
animated...
tired sounds kind of familiar, but like I don't remember there being a.
It's like a meteor's going to hit the planet. The polar ice caps are melting. And then the French are like, I am a little tired. And then I'll have to find it for you, because we quote it on the podcast a fair number of times. But it's like it was a meme at the time, and it just feels like, I don't know, the show. She was she would have gotten me to quit this show. Like, if I was watching it legitimately in 2006 as a form of entertainment, I would have quit because she was in it, because that's how bad that face is.
It is really distracting. It's upsetting.
And she looks like a child, and everyone's like trying to get into her business, and it feels really gross because it feels like she's a child and they're poking her to get her to tell them details about her life that she doesn't want to share. And so she's just like, I don't really feel like it's appropriate for me to talk about this right now.
It's weirdly paternalistic, but also counterpoint. I hate her. So
it's infantilizing. Everyone infantilizes her. Like they're all in her business in like a I am your parent and I'm protecting you way. Everyone.
Yeah. Which again, like sort of makes me think that they're like neurodivergent coding her because of how they have everyone respond to her and how they treat her like this, like not quite adult, not quite child in her little baby cardigan, but like fucking around the office.
And she hides Jack. First she has to get away because they try to kill her. And then she hides the fact that Jack is alive, has been hiding the fact that Jack is alive for a long time. And as the series progresses, Sean's character is like shadowing the one lady.
Oh, yeah.
To try to keep her, to prevent her from contacting Jack. And so Jack calls and she's just like, oh, I'm going to transfer you, and transfers him to Chloe. And Chloe's like, what? Hi, Jack. And nobody is like, wait, who was on the phone? Who did you transfer?
Yeah. Like all of the spies watching spy stuff. Yeah.
Everyone is dumb and they've forgotten that Chloe existed. They forget Chloe exists. So she's just over there data mining thumb drives.
It sort of feels like when they remember that she's there, they treat her like a child. But then the rest of the time, they're like, oh, that's a piece of furniture. That's just one of the machines that we have.
Right.
Beep boop. But also it's the machine in the cardigan. Like it was just uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable to look at her face, which again, Marilyn Rice Cobb has a normal, nice face when she's being her normal self.
Chloe, this character specifically, was very
Chloe
challenging.
has poop face, and I don't understand it. It was a choice because that's not her normal resting face. Her face doesn't rest in I smell the turd, I don't know where it is. But like 24 hours straight of this woman making that face, I don't get it. I don't understand it. And then like all the other characters are just insane, and then there's like all the weird inter-office politics where it's like my department's taking over your department. I don't care.
And no one cares. There's literally, guys, there's poison gas hidden in a bunker underneath the airport. Can we focus on the details?
Jack Bauer's just gonna hold his breath real long and then go and get it. I still love that at one point, so yeah, he does in fact, I'm not making this up, he does in fact hold his breath real good, and that's how he gets around the poison gas which kills the rest of the CTU office. Everyone who works in the underground bunker, just like their heads explode, they're all dead. And he's like, no, got it. Like, okay. And then he guilt trips the Sean Astin character, who is like a new supervisor, basically, who, because he's short and young, wants everyone to treat him seriously, and he's like has a temper tantrum the entire series. They guilt trip him and some rando guy we have never seen before to give their lives by going into like some room and like hitting Control F on the computer so that Chloe in her office can like turn on the big vents that like suck all the poison gas out. But they're like, you don't have incredible submarine lungs like Jack Bauer. So when you go into the room with the computer where you're kind of locked because you're locked out of the safe rooms, your eyes will bleed and your brains will explode, but you'll be doing it to save 6 people that you fucking hated an hour ago, or we'll all die. So, take your pick, be remembered as a hero or die with the rest of us, you useless prick. And so Sean Astin's like, well, thanks for that choice. So he goes in and like hits the button, and his friend, who we've never seen before, has like what should be a heart-wrenching phone call with his daughter. Like, Daddy won't be home to tuck you into bed tonight, little Sally. And I was like, I should give a shit about this, but I've never seen this man before. I don't know little Sally. This whole show is dragging, and there's like 18 more hours to go. Blow his brains up already. Blow him up with the gas. I don't care. But poor Sean Astin has to like, like in a room.
Do the death scene from Buffy where Paul Rubin is like,
oh, yes, yes. Yes, it was. I will be honest, if you had showed me 24 and you just copy and pasted Sean Astin's head like onto the Paul Rubens death scene, I would not notice a difference. I would not have seen a single difference. And like, I've seen Sean Astin in other things before. He's a good actor, but like I said, I don't understand this weird style of acting that they wanted everyone to do. Because like I said, they make Gene Smart do it. They make Kiefer Sutherland do it. I've seen them in
they're
other
so
things.
serious.
I guess, but they're like
so serious.
But it, like you said, even when they should be being serious about poison gas, they're making like non-face about how Chloe is getting that dick. Like I'm like, I don't what why? Why is everyone just like robot face? It's so weird.
I felt for Ger because he has to be a silhouette for the first 6 episodes.
Not even a silhouette. They're just like, here's his ear. Beep boop, beep boop, and then commercial. And I was like, do you get paid differently
Or
if it's
just
your
his
ear on
lips?
screen?
Just his lips. There was quite a few moments where I was like, that's just Ger's chin. I know that chin. And then so no shade on him at all, but he has that little like thing that men get where they have a little bit of extra fat just behind their chin, which is fine.
I got that too. We all got that too. But yeah, they I feel like
I'm not in silhouette in front of a light on a television show. It was not
feel like
flattering.
The way that they filmed Ger for all of his episodes was payback for the Valentine's Day episode of Forever Night, where they did Catherine Disher so dirty and they made her like flop her head back. And it's just like, you could be the skinniest model. You could be Tyra Banks. And if you flopped your head back at that angle, you're just only getting neck meat. Like no one's looking good in neck meat. And then Ger is like caressing her neck meat with like both paws, just like a cat making biscuits, just like rum, rum, rum. The way that they filmed Ger in this, they're like, oh, you like neck meat, do you? And it's just like zoomed in neck meat. And then when he dies, he flops his head back and it's like full neck meat buffet. And I was like, oh, Catherine says hello. Like it just
neck meat buffet.
It was just poor man.
It's important to note that this role was intended for the guy who plays Mythos in Highlander.
I only know one of those words.
They wanted him to play. I wouldn't even show you a picture of him because it wouldn't matter. It's just a connection back to Highlander. Mythos is one of my favorite Highlander characters because he's like old and he doesn't give a shit. And he was supposed to be the character that Ger plays, but there was scheduling problems.
Well, good for Ger. He snuck in there. He got him.
So they called Ger in.
He got his bag of ham.
Yeah. They were like, they put a bag of ham in a box with like one of those little like comical sticks. Outside the door.
The lid slams shut and you hear like, we got him.
Did we get the right guy?
We're not going to be allowed anywhere near the Stratford Festival. They're going to have a big sign with both their faces with a big X.
They're like, did we get the right guy? And they have a woman walk by the box and you hear like, yeah, that's him.
I smell white wine. We're close.
Let me find a picture. This is the guy that would have been.
Oh, that guy's like super young looking. Look at you.
Well, that's him in Highlander,
like
you know.
Oh.
I don't know what he looks like now, but yeah, that's him.
Oh. Hello,
oh. And he's
right,
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that I've seen these actors in other things to like not think that they're bad actors, to think it's just a weird show, a weird stylistic choice.
Yeah, so, it's the directors just being like, okay, so I need you guys to be serious.
Yeah.
This is dramatic. This is all happening at once. Serious. This is only 1 hour. You need to just like.
Yeah. We're going to play that beep boop sound really loud next to you the entire time you're saying your lines.
There was a heartbeat in the background. I thought I was going to have to watch this on mute because it was like, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum.
The sound design of the show was very weird.
And I was like, I can't not hear the heartbeat. It's going to drive me fucking crazy.
There were definitely at least 2 scenes where it was like they had the background music, which was, is it non-diegetic when it's not part of the scene? Yeah. So they had like the non-diegetic background music and I'm like, okay. And then on top of that, they had the like, you know, when you have just like musical like stingers where it's not like music, it's just sort of like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were like on top of each other. And I was like, why Why was your choice for this just wall of angry sound?
Because they were trying to make it feel frantic. Like they were trying to make you feel frantic and like in it and like time was passing.
Well, it stressed me the fuck out where I was like, I don't like this. Get me out. Get me out of here. It was just such a weird, and I was like, oh, I remember when Fred Mullen was like, you know what this scene needs? Music. Done. Next scene. Like, mwah, like chef's
You know
kiss.
what this one needs? More music.
Yeah. Music that sounds like normal sounds that a person could hear come out of a musical instrument and be happy with, and not the sound of like a cat having its tail pulled for 24 solid hours. Yeah, that was fun. And a bomb. A cat having its tail pulled next to a bomb ticking down. Beep, boop, beep, boop for 24 fucking hours. It was such a weird... I am not entirely certain that I did not put myself through like a CIA torture regimen by watching this.
It's probably better if you watched it 1 week at a time.
Yeah. It did not gain anything from watching it in chunks.
No, I don't think it's bingeable. I think that's probably our problem is you can't just sit and watch it. You have to like sit and watch an episode and then come back next week and watch an episode because they're so like heightened. They're so dramatic and everything about them is designed to be dramatic. All the like close-ups, the steady cam, the heartbeat music, the beeping clock, the everything about it.
I don't even know how to explain this. I feel like when you make every episode happen in real time, it somehow makes everything feel really, really fast and also extremely painfully slow. Like I can't like that's why we don't do that. That's why no one has ever done that on any TV show because you can be like, oh, there's 6 hours here where someone had a sandwich, took a shit, took a nap. We don't need to watch that 6 hours in real time. We can just know that happened and like go to 6 hours in the future.
You can tell they really struggled because Ger's dialogue had nothing to do with anything that was happening.
Correct.
Like the terrorists would call him or he'd call them and he'd be like, do you have hostages? And they'd be like, yeah, we're in the middle of the hostaging right now. And he'd be like, well, yes, hostages. Like, it was just like, I couldn't for the life of me figure out why he was contacting anybody because he didn't appear to know what was going on. He'd be like, what are you guys doing? And they're like, we just killed a man in front of the FBI. And he'd be like, I guess we all make our choices. It was just like, what are you doing? What is your... If you don't know what these terrorists are doing, why are they calling you and being like, you need to get it together. You need to figure it out for us. Figure what? I don't understand.
It was weird and cryptic. And it was so weird and cryptic that's why I thought, oh, he's going to be the big bad. Like he's the guy who's literally standing in the shadows. He's going to be the big bad of the whole season. And then they get to 9 and they're like, nope, psych. And they kill him with the helicopter. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. So then are the terrorists the big bad? And then they sort of are until like one episode from the end where it's like, it was the evil president the whole time. And I was like, so not the bad terrorists, bad president.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. The only time he even came into it was when they were like, we don't want him to sign the treaty with Russia. And he's like, oh, he won't. Don't worry. And then he signs the treaty with Russia and they're all like, he did it anyway. And he's like, yes. Like, this is what I told you would happen.
It did feel like I don't understand. Like, I feel like it was sort of like James Bond where it's so convoluted, but even after watching it and then like going to Wikipedia and being like, what did I just watch? I'm still like, I
don't know. I had to look up his character to figure it all out. And it didn't even figure it all out. It just answered a couple of questions.
Yeah. Yeah. I think mostly on Wikipedia, it just says he's part of the conspiracy to sell the gas to the terrorists. And I was like, oh, okay. So is he like customer service when the terrorists keep calling him? Like, what?
Yeah, I guess. But he has people there working for him and they're all on computers. I don't know what they're doing. Where do they go later when he goes like, where are they when he's hiding behind a freezer in the middle of
I kind of thought
warehouse?
that all of the terrorists had like I don't know, killed all of his officers and he was like the only one left and that's why he
Oh,
reached out to Jack
maybe.
Bauer. But that's me guessing because I don't know. There were parts of the show where I blacked out and I went to a special place in my head and I
Yeah, it
woke
was
up and the
definitely
same
like
episode was going on. Yeah.
just like white noise where you're watching it and stuff is happening, but your brain is like, I'm
Nope.
protecting you from harm right now.
Yes.
I've absented myself from everything that's currently happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to outer space now. Just whoosh.
Now.
Yeah.
Right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but apparently we are in the minority. People really enjoy. People even said that season 5 is the best season of 24. It's one of the greatest seasons of television ever made. It's super exciting and interesting and dramatic, and I think it's just. I'm not against a show with politics. Like I don't mind like a politics show, but this is sort of like not quite politics, not quite James Bond, not quite
Yeah.
pew action fun time, not quite melodrama. Just one autistic lady in her cardigan making poop face while a blonde man runs around and chokes out bitches he used to have sex with.
Murders people until the problem is solved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that I did like there's a scene where he's got his former mentor who is part of I don't know one of the many conspiracies with the gas and he's got that guy and that guy's wife like tied up on or not tied up like held at gunpoint at this guy's house and he's like tell me whatever the thing is I want to know blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like nope I'm not gonna and Jack Bauer's like are you sure you're not gonna and the guy's like yeah I'm not gonna so Jack Bauer's like okay and he shoots this guy's wife in the leg and the guy's like holy fucking shit you're crazy man and Jack Bauer's like I shot her in the exact part of the leg where she can be fine if you shoot them there so stop being a pussy about it and I was like sir, you just shot some like nothing suggests that this lady like knew about her husband's evil plan. You just straight up just wham bammed in her leg. But then the rest of the season, you're gonna take like the moral high ground about all the shit that the president is doing, while just like mowing people down, going nutso on them. Like, no, we're cool with that. I just. So fucking weird. But I do like that he's like, nuh-uh, she's fine, okay? Stop being, you're so dramatic. I shot her in the okay part of the leg to shoot somebody in. She is like a 65-year-old lady. She, to this actress's credit, she screams like she really got shot in the leg. This was such a weird fucking show. Like, even when you're watching Breaking Bad and Walter White is like slowly descending into evil and it's such a slow and it's sort of justifiable like I need money like I'm dying of cancer I think isn't that what it was Breaking Bad
He's got lung cancer
and he needs to have the money for treatment and for his family and like and you don't support all the terrible things he does but you like get it and you're with him and like each episode he's a little bit worse than he was before and you like walk that path with him and then at the end you can kind of stand there and go like oh my God, like, wow, like we really, like I see the fullness of this character and I can see the terrible things that he's done, but I also like understand why he did the terrible things. And that doesn't mean that I accept them, but like, I get it. Like you walk that path with him and that's the kind of anti-hero character that I feel like really works. This guy is just like, hi, I'm Jack Bauer. I'm super cool. I'm going to blow an old lady's kneecaps off. I'm like, because America.
But it's okay. It's the okay kneecap place.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. I'm doing terrible things, but it's fine.
Patriot.
Oh God.
Yeah.
If that exact line was not said this season, it must have been said in some other season because that should just be the tagline on the box. I'm a goddamn patriot.
Like
yeah. I don't know. It feels like it should have been fun, but instead it was just me like going, the migraine won't win. The migraine won't win. I'm going to get through this. I
feel like I can't even give it eyebrows because there's no time for any characteristics.
Well, he dies on a roof. That's the scariest characteristic.
Yeah.
He wears a tie to show us he's evil.
That's true. You're right. He doesn't get to do his evil, I'm evil voice.
No, that's true because they don't let him do any voice. They're like, you're doing nothing. You're pretend that you're sleepwalking through this. And he's like, all right.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I will actually sleepwalk through this. He has like a weirdly overdramatic death scene where someone has to reach their hand into his pocket, which I kind of
touch my butt. Right now. I want to go out the way I came into this life.
That's where all the secrets are. Because didn't he have a really dramatic, like vaguely sexual death scene in what was the one where he's the dad? Oh, it's the one that's set in the 1920s. I want to call her Trudy, but her name isn't Trudy. What is the name of that show? What is it? Frankie Drake.
Oh, Frankie Drake.
Why did I think her name was Trudy? My God. I feel like in that he got to have like a sexy death scene where he's like and he had a death scene like that in this.
Trying to think of what we've watched him in that he's died. Cube. He dies.
The not RoboCop. What is it called? The Bionic Woman.
Yeah.
Where she yeets him off the fucking roof. Like a pancake. Just
well, you know, when you're...
He dies in Frankie Drake. Let's see.
Maybe. ... It got
maybe.
canceled.
I want them to come back like 12 years from now. I know he dies in Hamlet, but you and I have not watched Hamlet together. Let's see. What have we watched? He doesn't die in Slings and Arrows. Oh, that would be fucking hilarious if he did. Let's say. He doesn't die in Wild Dogs. He does die in Hypercube. He does not die in American Psycho 2 or Trudeau. I don't think he dies in Outer Limits.
Well, he doesn't die very often.
No, but when he does, chef's kiss. And it tends to be on a roof. Oh, in Terror Stalks the Class Reunion, he blows his whole house up.
Oh, that's right, with himself in it.
Yeah. Oh, good times. He gets caught by the police in Rin Tin Tin. He might be a ghost, but probably isn't, in Alfred Hitchcock.
He dies in Highlander.
Yes, with his butt in the air. Oh, yes. Never forget.
The Docker death. The Docker death.
Absolute chef's kiss. Just mwah. Ugh. Dumb pants were so tight. Ridiculous pants. He doesn't die in Airwolf. He goes away in Ickway. Doesn't he just paddle away in Ickway?
Yeah, he disappears in Dracula.
Yes, into the fireplace that takes you into another dimension.
Yeah.
He doesn't die in Paid Vacation.
Does he die at the end of Cats and Dogs?
Oh, the Rin Tin Tin thing? No, they just the cops just get him, I think. He doesn't die a lot, but when he does it with panache.
Yeah, I mean, as you would expect. Yes.
It's befitting of his career. So yes. A death with panache, subcategory death with panache on a rooftop. Evil tie. I know that we haven't seen him sweating with a gun, but I feel like I want that to be like a new characteristic. Just him.
Not since Airwolf.
No. Oh my God. Being in something that makes us nearly go blind. That should be a characteristic, unfortunately. Poor Ger.
I think we just had a streak. I have a feeling the next one's going to be a winner.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure on me.
He's always doing his best. It's just not always.
I know.
I agree.
Thing that I think he got to do the most acting in his death scene in this of anyone in the entire series because everyone else is just weird robot face. Oh, he dies in Trilogy of Terror in the grave. They shoot him in the grave.
Oh yeah, because he gets eaten by the giant rats.
The big rubber rats. Poor Ger. So the rubber rat noise is so tragic. Yeah, you know what? I will say, as much as I shit on this season of 24, as much as I will never, ever, if I can help it, watch another episode of 24 ever in my goddamn life, I really thought his death scene was fucking hilarious. I really, truly enjoyed watching him sweat his balls off in a black on black on black suit combo in the Los Angeles sun, running back and forth on a rooftop while guys in a helicopter shoot at him. And then he makes Kiefer Sutherland fondle his dick and balls. Like, I was like, mwah, Emmys.
No notes.
Correct. That is how to do it. So in terms of sloppy wet kisses, for the entire season, I'm giving it half a sloppy wet kiss and like just tears Tears are my new rating system. But for episode number 9, for that like 10-minute segment where he's hoofing his ass through an abandoned building and jumping behind freezers, you know what? I really liked it. I would give that like an 8 sloppy wet kisses for that 10-minute segment of 24.
That's fair. And he yeets. Like, it's definitely a stunt double because he harks himself up over. It's just like, and it's like from below. It's shot from below, so it's really, you could put the Bionic Man noise on it, like, he's like
That's what it deserved. This scene, I would like to make this scene to like, I don't know how to, I'm not good at like the video stuff. So if there's a way to edit just that scene of like him running around and dying and completely take out the audio and just like add our own audio in, it would entertain me for the rest of my life. It needs the yakety sax song. It needs the Bionic Woman. Like, it's like, it's so fucking goofy. It's just, I loved it so much. I know not for the reasons the show wanted me to love it, but that doesn't make me love it any less. I think I even texted you because, like I said, I thought he was the big bad, and I got to episode 9 and he dies, and I started sending you messages on Discord going, what the actual fuck? What is going on here? Something crazy just happened. I think maybe my water has been spiked because I was losing it. But yeah, overall, I do not recommend 24. It was a real painful experience, and just the way that it interacted with women in particular and like mental health issues, and it was just a lot of weird choices that were made that I did not love. From actors who I know can do a lot more, and the show just like refused to let them use their faces and bodies like human people. So I don't know, maybe next season they reveal that everyone's a robot. I don't know. I don't understand this show.
I couldn't tell you.
I would laugh so hard if they got to the very last episode of 24 and they're like, actually, this has all been a simulation. We're in the future. This is what we think 2006 was like. Children, like,
It's a zoo. They're like, we just keep telling them that there's terrorists and they just stay busy. So we don't ever have to get, that's their
they need their
enrichment.
exercise. Yeah.
That's their enrichment. Yes. Oh, look, a terrorist, everybody. Oh!
Yeah, we spin the wheel. They're either Russian or Chinese. So just every week we just pick a new one. Everyone wears everyone's shirts and skins, and then we just let them do it, and that's how they earn their hamster pellets.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
So, are you gonna abstain from giving it?
I think I am,
an eyebrow?
because I feel like it's not fair. Because he didn't get to do any of his. He just didn't get to. He didn't get to be Ger. Like, he got to do some stuff, but
yeah, poor Ger.
yeah.
Entertaining despite himself.
He didn't get to romance anybody. He didn't get to.
I mean, he sort of romances Jack Bauer in the last 2 minutes.
I mean, we got the new. I think what we'll do in lieu is just add a new characteristic to the list, and it will be dying on a rooftop.
Yeah. I'm hoping it happens more. I'm really excited about this. I want this to be like the new thing. It's happened twice already. Maybe we get like the hat trick. Maybe we get a third time. I'm going to try really hard. I'm going to go through the list of things that we haven't watched yet and try really hard to find something. I'm hoping for something short because 24 hours was too many hours for my soul, but also like fun. So I don't know. That might take some thinking.
We're going to get there.
We're going to get there. I mean, we have to get through everything anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. But I need a little break next week. Like, I'm really excited for when we get to Antony and Cleopatra, because like that was really fun to watch. I'm excited for when we get to Hamlet, where he inexplicably they put him in like a white military uniform, which it turns out is now a thing that I'm into. So thanks you guys for adding to that horrible list of janky shit. Yeah. But like Shakespeare plays are like 4 hours long. Like I need like I'm trying to find something. I'll find something short and we'll figure it out. All right. So you're abstaining. I'm giving it either an 8.5 or like a 0. So just average those two together.
Somewhere in that range.
Somewhere in that range. Between 0 and 8 is what I'm giving 24. It is available because it's a more recent series. It's available literally everywhere all over the internet. So like if anyone else wants to watch the yakety sax death scene, again, it's episode 9, season 5. It's kind of fun. I wouldn't subject myself to the rest of it because Goddamn why? Goddamn why?
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google after this. I'm really hoping there's at least one David from The Lost Boys meets Nick Knight. Like, I want there to be one fan fiction. Like, I need the internet nerds to support me in this. Like, I know
Yeah.
someone somewhere had like that brilliant thought and like put pen to paper. And if it's bad, it'll be even better for me. Like, I want it to be hot blonde vampire garbage. So like, fingers crossed. Which I will, of course, share with the audience and you.
Yes, please. I hope you find this for all of us.
We deserve this. After what we suffered through, we deserve this. Well, now finally, now that you have moved and gotten all settled in, you now finally have all of your podcasts, including obviously the objectively best one. Finally, you have all their
which just hit 1,000 downloads.
1,000 downloads.
I know.
How? Fucking how? Can I be honest? I've thought about this. The only thing I can figure out, I can assume, is that I've had times where I have downloaded an episode of a podcast on my phone, and then for whatever reason, my phone, either because I listen to the podcast like while I'm in bed at night, like either because it thinks I've listened to it, it has then deleted it, or just because my phone is a jackass, it's deleted it. So there are like particular episodes of podcasts that I've had to download multiple times to finally have a time when like it'll play, but I'll be awake like at the same time. So that is what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that it's like 4 people in the audience, but their iPhones are really bad. And so they've just had to like download the episodes like over and over and over again, like 750 times. But barring that, oh my God, 1,000 downloads. That's insane. That's insane. Who are you people? Write in and tell us. I'm demanding. Write in. Just Ger Can Get It at gmail.com. Just respond with who you are and why. Why are you here?
Let's see. Well, here's our analytics. We've had 14 downloads in the last 7 days, 91 downloads in the last 30 days, with a unique audience of 61.
Wow.
So 61 different devices downloaded it.
Do you think it's one guy with like 16 computers? Or
I love that you're really trying to make this. The Ger Can Get It episodes are like the highest performing YouTube episodes. We have an audience that's 46.9% in the United States, 35.8% in the Netherlands.
Hey, Dutch listeners. Why are you here?
Limburg.
Shout out to Limburg.
12% Germany, specifically Westphalia, like Northern Rhine, Westphalia.
Well, I know the Germans like him because they had their own special German cut, which I still have not. I have the German porn DVD version of Forever Night, and I still have not watched it yet. I haven't, poured that glass of wine and given myself that time to watch it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to it. I've heard someone commented on our Instagram page and said that they didn't actually air like the porno cut in Germany. They just aired. They like decided that it was too embarrassing, I guess, and they aired the regular cut. But I won't know until I watch the German DVDs. And I'm very excited to listen to what the German dub voice is for Ger and Skanky. Like I'm really invested in it now.
Here, I'll send you this link. You can check it anytime.
I don't need to know who's listening to this.
Okay. We do have an Ontario audience.
Oh, good.
7.7%.
I hope it's a lot of really confused, like 22-year-old young actors at the Stratford Festival being like, oh, hey, I'm going to play it with Garrett Wynn Davies. I heard there's a podcast all about him. And they just listen and they're like, what?
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
I've heard about them. They're not allowed within 60 feet of a dressing room. I'm still kind of proud of us for like triangulating where the stage door was in the one theater based on photos I had found of Ger online.
That was a shining moment.
We matlocked the shit out of it. Good for us. Good for us, little online creeps. Well, thank you, audience, for showing up for 1,000 downloads and however many episodes we put out now, like 40, 30, I don't know, whatever episode number this is. Thank you for showing up. I don't understand it, but thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Until next time, friends. Bye. I don't know how to end this. Bye.